They're guaranteeing you the return?
They're not guaranteeing you the return.
If they win, you win. If they lose, you lose.
Just give me $500,000 in 1 year, we'll make it $300,000. And I don't know, that sometimes they give to goy, sometimes they give to Jews. I have no clue.
If they
actually give it to business, right?
If they lose,
The cash advance, they lend money to businesses.
Yes.
So Rabbi David said businesses build different entities.
Yes.
But he said there's only one book that Moshe Feinstein holds it in America. Business to business, if you're lending, you don't need the Chatriska. But he's the only one who holds like that.
the Rav Moshe Feinstein is a big posek, so we don't rely on the lechatchila, but it is like a tziruf. We still we look at it.
Nobody agrees with him.
We don't disagree with it. Rav Moshe is not the only one who held like that. There were more poskim before him that held like that.
In America, he said that.
Okay, maybe in America, but I'm just saying the logic for that is that when I'm lending money to a business, there's no personal liability.
Cash advance.
That's the logic. But the logic of it is that when I'm lending money to a business, there's no personal liability.
Yes.
Right, that's a cash advance thing.
You need to say if I'm lending, what's a loan? A loan means that I'm taking money and I have personal liability. If anything happens, either or I have to pay you. That's a loan. What's an investment? I take the money, I'm investing it. I make, you make. I lose, you lose. If I invest the money, I lose everything. You lose everything. So why is that a loan? I'm not borrowing anything. I have no personal liability for anything. So that's not a loan. For such a transaction, you don't need a heter iska.
The problem is that when you're lending your money, you know that the other guy is going to guarantee you a return.
No, it's never a guarantee.
If you feel like that, yes, but a lot of times with cash advance, all that stuff, there's always guarantees that I guarantee you 10%, 15%. When they say guarantee, that's a problem.
Yes, I see what you're saying. No, but in my case, it's not.
If they're taking personal liability in that guarantee, it's a problem. If they don't take any personal liability, right, and they tell you, I win, you win, I lose, you lose.
So in that case, you don't need a Chatriska.
No.
Wow. No? And that's correct cash advance.
No, but I like to do it anyways. I like to do it anyways because I know that a lot of times these people, when you speak to them, they say, I'm going to give it back to them anyways. Right? To some people, they'll tell you, I'll give it back to them anyways. I don't want to ruin my name. I don't want to this. I don't want to that. So they say, I'll give it back to them anyways. So there you're already putting yourself, the fact that the person has no liability, but he says, I want to give it back to him anyways, it's not so clear that there's a problem with it. Because Be'etzim is not chayav to give it back to him. You want to give it back to him out of your goodwill. It's not so clear that might be a problem with ribbit, but it's always kedai to do it. It doesn't hurt to do it. Now the logic of giving money to an organization, LLC, whatever it is, that when you're giving money to my organization, say if you're giving $500,000 to my organization, right? If this organization loses the money, am I personally liable to pay you back? No, the organization is broke. Your money is gone. Right, so that's the logic. There's no personal liability here. So to Ramosha held, there's no personal liability. It's not considered a loan. There's not a problem.
I don't know, there is last time.
Somebody called me the other day, he wanted to know if he could make a heter iska, if he needs to make a heter iska with such a business. It's a very interesting type of a business. If somebody gets into a car accident, I don't know who this person is, right? If somebody gets into the car accident, right, and now he wants to sue the people, so it takes a year or two to get the money, right? They give advance, right? And that advance is like on condition that it gets percentage, but if you make it, we make it. If not, then we lose everything. So there was a question whether or not something like that is usher. How do you work around that?
Because it's in the air. If the guy's going to live,
there's no guarantees. Listen, if I make, you make. If I lose, you lose everything. I'm not taking anything personal. The question is the interest that's accruing every month, outside the fact that if I do make, you're going to take. The truth is the Shulchan Aruch has a case, something called tzad echad b'ribit. Tzad echad b'ribit means there's a chance that I'm going to there's a chance it's going to be ribit here, and there's a chance it's not going to be ribit here. Is there an issa d'oraisa or not an issa d'oraisa? But over there, that case of the Shulchan Aruch is really when it's up to me to be able to make the situation or break the situation. But the situation is not in my hands, and it's something that can happen automatically. That's not considered tzad echad b'ribit. So over here it would be much easier to work around the situation. I told him make a heter iska anyways, just to be on the safer side, right? But it's not so clear that you need a heter iska when it comes to making such deals.
Because it's not guaranteed that it's going to pay out. Sometimes
there's nothing.
They deny the full claim sometimes.
There's nothing there.
Right.
There's no personal liability to anything. right? If the claim wins, you take money from the claim. If the claim doesn't win, you don't take money from the
But when
claim.
you give the advance, they think they're gonna win. They're
In
not gonna-
average, yeah.
No, but if they,
They
don't
think,
think you're
yeah,
gonna win,
they
they're
speak
not
to
gonna
the
give you-
lawyer, and the lawyer they base it on that. But again, there's
The lawyer says we
no.
have a strong case.
Right.
Here is advance. How much? 10,000. But when I get the case, I'm gonna put 10,000 on top because I gave an advance. But sometimes the person could die. Then sometimes the insurance could deny. Sometimes it's not gonna go to EO. It's called examination under oath. There's things could happen. The lawyer could lose. But in average, I know this very well. In average, the rule is like 80% they win, 20% they lose. And then if they lose, the lawyer doesn't get anything.
Yeah, where's
The investors
The
don't
interest
get
is that you say you want to go to court, you're anticipating to make say $70,000. So I'll tell you, listen, I'm gonna give you $20,000 in advance. Every month we're gonna accrue say $300. At the end of the year, you're gonna owe me $24,000, $23,000, right? Right. The interest occurs, but you're only gonna pay me that interest with the money I gave you. If you win the court case and you get the money, then you pay me. But if you lose the court case, then I lose all my money, even the money that I gave you. I'm willing to put a bet on it.
You don't need hat for that?
It's not so clear that you need that risk. I spoke to a very big postic. It wasn't so clear to me whether there was a problem here, right? Because the interest is accruing, but at the same time, it's not accruing on him having to pay. It really depends if they're paying, and then you're giving him money back from there. So you're not really. There's nothing here that he's responsible for. So it didn't seem like it was so much of a problem, but I told him to make a heter iska anyway just to be safe. It doesn't hurt to do it, right? It doesn't hurt to do it.
If there's a question, why not
You
just
only
do
get
it?
exactly. You
Yeah.
only get a
Just
problem.
covering yourself yourself, huh?
It doesn't hurt to do it.
Better safe than sorry.
Right, as it is better safe than sorry. Yeah, listen, interest is not. The Gemara says one of the easiest ways to become rich is malvei b'ribit, or loan money and interest. The Gemara says people that loan money and interest, their faces shine because they make money so easily.
It's very easy money because money works for you. You don't work for the money.
Yeah.
What is it? Gemara, okay, is it this business? This role model?
So I tell you the truth, halachically, if you ought to lend to goyim and interest, it's not a problem. The Rambam says it's a mitzvah to lend money to goyim and interest.
It's it?
That's what the Rambam held, right? Not everybody held like that. But the problem here is that the chilul Hashem sometimes could be.
In what case?
Sometimes, because everybody knows when you're doing a cash advance, there's always this hidden fee. Suddenly you told the guy you're going to give $1 million, suddenly got $960,000. Whereas the other $40,000, or this fee, within all the fine lines that nobody reads, right? And they know they're doing something not right. All these fees are all fake. You're just pocketing the first 40K into your pocket, right? So what happens is people think, look at these Jews already, they're all liars, they're all crooks, and the idea of it, and suddenly the guy realizes he's stuck, and you set him up for failure, and he can't pay you back, and you're going to ruin his life if he doesn't pay you back. So then he starts to despise you, and he starts to, it could lead to chilul Hashem. Look, you see some of them change their names. And the cash advance interest, they change their names. They change their names to
reputation is so bad now they want to change the name.
Everybody knows cash advance is not. It's illegal even. It's illegal to lend. It's illegal. It's illegal to lend money on a high interest rate. I think about 15 above. I think even less. I think even less than
That's why they
25.
call it advance. It's not
No,
a
so-
loan.
So
they found a loophole.
they buy
You buy the receivables.
on buying the receivables in your business.
It's a loophole.
Right, I'm taking 50% of your receivables from your business. I'm investing in your business with you. I'm not charging you interest. It's just the wording in the contract.
It's called
That's-
factual rate. Not a percentage, but they call it factual rate, yeah. So you earn, and I take from the earnings.
From the earnings,
yes,
right.
a certain percentage.
So
it's not a percentage. It works in
therefore,
federal court, but a lot of people got indicted also because of the hiring fees. And
yeah.
the
Look,
fraud like
a lot of them get sued.
They get sued right now.
A lot of them get
Feds
sued.
also regulated. This is within 2 years by 2025.
The feds have
How can they
been
regulate you? You're not putting anything up to.
because it's the wording that's changing the reality of the situation, but the reality of the situation is not really what the wording says that it really is.
They call it reverse engineer. But technically it's a percentage, high percentage. But if you do low percentage on real estate, like legal,
That's okay.
That's fine. Yeah?
Yeah, that's fine. That everybody does. Tov, let's go on. For sure, real estate is much safer. Real estate is for sure the way to go. It's much safer. You go
Because
to
over here you just buy paper. you
Yeah,
give money on
but
the
safe to
paper.
go. Then you're gonna get your tenant that ain't gonna pay you for 2 years rent.
okay. You gotta be careful. But if you own a lot of real estate,
Can't be careful. Probably
a lot of real estate, you gotta. And every business you have its profits and its losses. There's no guarantee. In cash advance, they don't lose money. They lose millions of dollars.
Cash advance, you just get a paper in return. But
I
here
used
you
to-
get real estate.
I used to give a class in a cash advance office every once a week years ago. I remember I came one day, they were all so nervous that they lost a lot of money that time. I made a big deal and lost a lot of money. I'm talking about big, like a lot. Yeah. So they take big losses also. It's not everything is like that. Everything is like that. משחרב בית המקדש נגנו חכמים שהיו באותו הדור. So when the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed, the Chachamim came along and they made a takana, they made a decree, so we should not forget the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash. שאין בונים לעולם בניין מסוים מחויב כבניין המלאכים. You're not allowed to build houses like the kings build houses. You're not allowed to paint them so beautifully and lavish them and make them so nice and fancy. Right? אלא תח ביתו בתית וסיד וסל וסיד. So why? Because since the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed, right? So therefore, Mamela, we want to make a zecher to the Beit HaMikdash. You're going to now go start building houses that are so fancy. It's like sort of he's saying that we already like forget about the Beit HaMikdash already, you know. Right, what do? You take bricks, you put cement, and you put some plaster, and that's it. No painting everything and making nice designs and fancy, right? That's the halakha. And when I walk into the house, you need to make an amma. It's more than 1 foot. It's 18.5 inches by 18.5 inches. Say 20 inches. So 20 inches by 20 inches, you have to leave as soon as you walk into the house. The wall, 20 inches by 20 inches, you have to leave. Not finished.
Inside.
Inside the house. As soon as you walk into the house, the first thing that you notice has to be the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash.
Exposed brick.
Huh?
Exposed brick.
The truth is, there are some that hold that it has to be exposed brick. I don't know if it's safe to do that. When I was
Wow, that's so crazy.
One more time. Right. When you're building a house,
This is good
you have
stuff.
to walk in. There's a section of the house when you walk in that says that you should leave it unfinished, not fully painted or not mold, not everything else. Just to remind you that because the temple is destroyed and God doesn't have a house, that your house shouldn't be completely perfect.
I didn't know that it's to be
right in front, right when you
I
walk
argued
in.
with my wife about this for like months when we moved in.
You could still do it.
Section open.
You could
No, I
still
left
do it.
I just put a security alarm on that thing, and it's like not.
No, it has to be. You can't put anything
No,
there.
you could see that it's not complete.
It's not finished. It's not finished well. But if you bought a house or you're renting a house, whatever, and it already came like this, you're not obligated to take it off. It's only when you're actually physically renovating, you have to leave that area. But if you bought it like this, you could leave it like this.
So if you already did it, you have to.
Preferably when you walk
If
in.
you already did it, whether or not you have to take it off or not. You want to be machmer, be machmer. If you want to be makel, you could be makel. Right?
A nice house, it's like something
You could do it in the
perfect. Right
basement.
away, the eyes.
No, it has to be the entrance to the house.
Oh, it has to be entrance.
You know what Hasidim did one time? They bought a brand new Audi with a friend of mine. And he was his wish. $160,000 Audi A8 he bought. He in front of my eyes, I'm sorry, but the whole side is scratched off.
Why?
He says the Ainara should go to this. But I said, why you buy the Audi? He says, I wanted it, but then the eyes.
These things don't help.
They don't buy jewelry.
Wait, don't do this in front of me.
I tell you the truth. This situation of ayin hara doesn't work the way people think that it works.
How does it work?
It's not. First of all, there's over hundreds of different types of ayin hara, and there's a big machlokas of how ayin hara works. And at the end of the day, the best way around it is to be humble and to just live modestly. You know, you can enjoy inside your house. You can do whatever you want, but don't attract people too much. And even if you're going to, it doesn't just. There's no trick, right? If they open judgment on a person in Shemaim, right? He has to prove that he deserves it. He has to prove that he deserves it. Otherwise, it could bring different things that can happen to a person. But you gotta just. It doesn't work the way people think it does, right? That's all I have to say. There's many different ways to get rid of it. You know, being humble, keeping Shabbat properly, davening, learning, wearing tzitzit, right? Everything helps to remove a person from judgment. And the Lubavitch Rebbe says number one thing is not to think about it, right? And he says when you don't think about it, it makes it much weaker and it goes away much faster. The more a person thinks about it, the more it affects a person. The more it affects a person, right? And at the end of the day, the whole world is like this. This is the derech of the world, right? Rav Moshe Feinstein writes that things that are normal, everyday things, the person doesn't have to be concerned. But if it's something unusual, say if something unusual happened to a person, then a person should be more careful, not to tell anybody. I don't know. You made a big deal suddenly. You made a lot of money on the deal, which is an unusual amount. Don't tell anybody. right?
You hurt that person, and then it opens the judgment on you. It hurts other people sometimes.
That's one way of thinking how. That's one way of how it works. That's one way of how it could work, right? But not everybody agrees that's how it works. So let's go on. Right? Anything that we do simcha, we always have to remember the simcha, the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash. As it says, anytime there's a simcha, we always have to remember the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash. By the chuppah also we mentioned, right? Remember the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash. Why? Because yeah, but we're going to see there's a lot of different places, right? But today the truth is, today for some reason we're makel in order to build houses that are very lavish and very nice, right?
We need a moment of silence every time we have a simcha.
I don't know if you need a moment of silence. Whatever the Shulchan Aruch tells you, that's what you need. So whatever it is, today there are those that are makel not to leave an ama, because the Ravadia says today the plaster and everything that we use is made with the sand. So they say the things that are made with sand and with mud and with dirt, maybe you're not chayav to leave an ama. Whatever, it's a very weak heter. L'maisa pi halacha, a person should always leave an ama, right? Right when you walk in front of your house, right? But if you bought a house, right? If you bought a house that a guy renovated and then you bought it like this, you're not obligated to remove it. But if you know you bought a house from a Jew and he was obligated to do it, and you bought it from him and he never did it, then he brings over here that you are obligated to do it. By rental, there's no machlokes whether you're obligated or not. If you want to be makel, you don't have to do it. If you're painting already, then you should leave it, right? You're painting already, then you should leave it.
It's as simple as just not painting a section, or how?
Not painting 20 inches by 20 inches this way and that way. Just as soon as you walk in, the area should just be very visible. The minhag is not to paint, even though it's not so clear that that's what it means. Rebelsky, he took off the first layer of the sheetrock. He took off the first layer of the sheetrock. His son told me he bought a special machine and he shaved off the whole first layer of the sheetrock, the ama. The truth is, it seems that that's probably the most proper way to do it.
Can it be on the bottom, on the top?
As soon as you walk in, you have to be able to see it. Bottom, top, as soon as you walk in, you have to be able to see it. It can't be somewhere that's on the sign like this. I walk in, I see it. But most people put it on the top, it's more visible. וכן התקין שעורך שולחן לעשות סעודה לאורחים החסר ממנו מעט וניחו כל פנוי ולא קערה מן הקערות הראוי לתת שם. Right? Also the minhag says, חכמים מן התקנה, when you made a סעודה and you invite people to your house, that you always leave a little bit out. You always leave one place empty on the table. You always leave something lacking on the table in order to remind us of the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash. Right? להניח בכל מקום איזה קנה מסוים לתבשים, כשמחסר אותה נקנה דבר ביום שנגיד מסד במקום מוכרם, עשה לו יהיה נקן ותם זנו כל יום. He says over there that the Kaf HaChaim, the Ish Matziach brings that today we don't do this. Why? Because back in the day they had a certain order of food of how they used to bring, and that order was ordinary and normal. Everybody knew that this is the order, so when you wouldn't bring something out, it was noticeable. But today we don't have any orders, we don't have anything noticeable. There's different foods all the time, and therefore even if you wouldn't bring something, it wouldn't be noticeable. Therefore we're not nohig to do this. Not knowing not to bring one type of a dish. Why? Because today you don't bring one type of a dish, people, it's not something that attracts attention. Right? Also when lady makes jewelry for herself, she leaves something missing in the jewelry. Also she shouldn't put on all her jewelry at one time. Right? Which is also today not who puts on all the jewelry at one time. Shachatan, also when a chatan gets married, he puts dirt over here, afar, he takes ashes over here, and he puts ashes on his head. Right, so that's the Shulchan Aruch. I don't know if you guys ever saw this, the Ashkenazim, they do this. Right, they burn ashes and they put on their forehead as the remembrance of the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash. At the wedding, yeah. The Shulchan Aruch says you should do it, but the Ish Matziach says today we don't do it. Today we break the cup instead. Right? Since we do something l'zeicher hachurban, that's already good enough, right? That's already good enough. The Or Letzion, Rabben Tzion Abashul says you should be machmir, you should do it. And the chatan should take something burnt, or maybe a burnt paper or something, and put it on his forehead as zecher to the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash. Right? Just not to forget that the Beit HaMikdash is destroyed.
So you put it on, how long you the whole night?
No, you could just leave it on for a moment, right? And you can take it off afterwards. So today he says the chatan breaks the cup, and that's what we do. All these things that we do in order to remember Alright, the destruction of the Beit Hamikdash. So this next halacha is really the most applicable halacha, and yes,
So the breaking of the cup started after the destruction?
yes, as a remembrance of the
Before
destruction.
what, they used to do this ashton?
No,
No, that was
nothing.
No?
Chen gazuru, they also made a gezerah, shelo lanagen b'kli shir v'chol minei zemer. You're not allowed to play any musical instruments. The Shulchan, according to the Shulchan Aruch, you're also to play any musical instruments. You can't play guitars, you can't play pianos, you can't play anything in general, all the time.
What was that, Rabbi?
The Shulchan Aruch answers it.
Halacha?
Al-Khaz that it's also the minhag, Rabbi Tzyon Avashul says we know like the Rama. Rama, we'll see what he says, but simply, any instrument is asr. Any instrument is asr. You're not allowed to. Not only that, Rav Moshe Feinstein has a shaila in Hilchot Avodah Zarah. He says, you're not allowed to make images of the sun and the moon, right? The Shulchan Aruch says you're not allowed to make images of the sun and the moon, right? Certain halachot are in the Hilchot Avodah Zarah. I can't make certain images. So there he has a shaila. What about children that make images of the sun and the moon? He says it's better not to teach them how to do it, because why teach them how to do something now when eventually it's going to become asr for them? Because now they're still small, and with asr, it's going to become asr for them eventually. Therefore, Mila says don't teach it even when they're younger. I think the same thing would apply over here. Right? You have a child that's 5-6 years old. You want to buy him a real guitar. I'm not talking about those electric ones. Those are not klishir. Those are toys, right? But the person has to buy a real guitar, a real piano, a real that for his children to play with, or he himself wants to play music on. I'll put it to the Shulchan Aruch simply, and this is the way it seems like in the Gemara also, that it's asr. The Gemara says there was a chacham in the city, right? After the destruction of the Beit Hamikdash, he came and he was very strict. He told everybody, no klishir, no musical instruments. It says the whole city was very careful not to play musical instruments. It says that there was so much shefa in the city, there was so much abundance, there was so much bracha in the city, that for one coin you could buy 50 chickens, right? It says later when this chacham left, another rabbi came and he was lenient. People were playing music, people play instrument. It says that the shefa went down to such a degree that for 50 coins you couldn't find one chicken, right? The Gemara is trying to point out that you see that it's very chamur, right? These laws, the Gemara brings that these laws bring wrath, bring anger, right?
Musical instrument?
Anything that was supposed to be done for the destruction of the Beit Hamikdash, not doing it is a very big
During this
chisar.
time only or
Throughout the whole year. This is halachot throughout the whole year.
like guitar you
Api halacha, it's asr all year long to play musical instruments and even listen to music.
Well, listening, what about listening? Yes.
So listening to music, we rely on a few different leniencies. One, very big leniency, that Chachamim only asr live music. For Sefaradim to go to a concert would be asur. Why? Because it's live music. That's mamash the takana. But recorded music, Chachamim never asr. It's not the same feel. What? For simchot, it's different. For simchot, it's different. Weddings, bar mitzvahs, bar milas is different. Simchot is different. Right? Live music, right, is the problem according to the Shulchan Aruch, but recorded music they want to say is okay. Most poskim disagree. They said whether it's recorded, whether it's live, it's asr. Another leniency of why we listen to music today is they say because the people are very depressed, right? So it's like it uplifts them, right? But say if a person is not depressed, say a person is already lively and happy, just wants to sit down and kaifu and listen to music, there would be room to be machmer, right? Not to listen to music. If a person really needs to, the Rav Yosef's family, they're makel. They say that recorded music was never the gezerah, right? Never the gezerah. Now, anything that brings out any kol shishir, it's also to be able to enjoy it. Now the Rama disagrees. He says to have musical instruments is mutar, right? He says the only time that it's asr to have musical instruments is only somebody that's accustomed to it. For example, people that go to sleep with music and they wake up with music. That Rama says is not allowed. That everybody agrees, right? You have somebody over there playing violin for you. You go to sleep with the violin, you wake up with the violin. I'm not talking about medical reasons. Tam kaifuim, right? You're not allowed, right? That everybody agrees you're not allowed. That everybody agrees you're not allowed.
David HaMelech, he sang the instrument, he used the instrument.
For Shaul HaMelech. For Shaul HaMelech, Shaul was depressed. Right? The Bach and the Shla, two very big poskim, they agree with the Shulchan Aruch. Right? They agree with the Shulchan Aruch. Right? They say you're not allowed to sing. You're not allowed to make any type of musical instruments. You're not allowed to make any musical instruments. Right? However, there are those that poskim that ask to even music with your mouth, right? You want to sit down and just sing Guli Sango or something, all these Russian songs that people sing, right? Some poskim that even say that's a sur. We have to see what the minhag is. We're just talking in halacha.
No one follows.
What
Is this?
Probably
Cannot
one
play
follows.
instruments,
G.
cannot play guitar.
Yafti.
Doesn't make
Big,
sense.
big as thing.
Who follows that?
Or bet mishteh asur. This everybody agrees is asur. The second one, bet mishten. Fish aliyan asur bezan. אפילו מי שאינו רגיל, ודע אפילו בפה אסור הריין כל יעלם חודש של בות ושן שבין לכל הסרטן ועדים לגנו כל יוסים לחד נסים גמור. So one thing everybody agrees. The Shulchan Aruch says you're not allowed to play any musical instrument. You're not allowed to listen to any musical instrument. The Ramah says you're allowed to have a musical instrument, you're allowed to listen to a musical instrument. Read only 2 times it's asur. One, when you're sleeping and you're waking up to it, or if you're drinking wine while you're listening to musical instruments, or you're singing. For example, time you want to make a barbecue backyard and your barbecue, people are singing or you're putting on music and you're drinking wine, that's asur. According to everybody, that's asur. Right? Or wine is asur. Only wine. Not vodka, not scotch, only
If
wine.
I'm in the backyard at my father's birthday.
And you bring over there live music,
Yeah, why do you bring wine?
live music with wine is asur if it's not just
Instrument or
simchan. Yeah, like a band, like
DJ playing
instrument.
music is
No,
fine?
that music, DJ playing music, we said recorded music, we said is okay.
No, but
It's a-
when you twist it,
If a guy's
Again,
playing a
it's a
violin-
big kula, it's a big kula, but it's okay. Recorded
playing
music
a
is okay.
violin,
That's a
and
problem if
listening to
there's wine. Yes, if a guy's playing violin and drinking wine at the same time, there everybody visits us. So there nobody matters.
Even by a simcha?
No, except simcha. I'm talking about regular.
See you, Masechet,
And a
that's
simcha
fine.
is a
Same
birthday.
second, it's okay. His birthday is not a simcha. The only one time we find a birthday party in the Torah is where?
Paro.
By Paro, right? That's not that.
The only one ever said.
The truth is, the Ben Ish Chai says the person's mazel goes up on a person's birthday. The Ben Ish Chai does such
Rabbi, you know
thing.
what I saw recently? I don't want to say the name. Some people know them. He died, the person, and inside brothers, Schwarz brothers, right? They brought
Yeah.
the rabbi was against it. But
Violin?
they still brought violin.
Violin or this-
Yeah, while I was going through this whole process.
Was it depressing music or happy music?
Yeah, it was depressed music actually.
That's all okay. To use instruments is a little bit of a problem, but the Gemara says they used to hire people to come and to depress people more by eulogies. There used to be special people. They used to come and make you,
But
you
now I
know.
said to your shvoyim, the guy comes with
But that's already a problem. No, so the bottom line is that this is
Yeah, but I mean, they're singing.
so to
sad
listen,
music,
so
but-
to listen to music and to have wine is a problem. For example, what does this happen? Karaoke. People like to go to karaoke. They go, everybody takes microphone, they sing, and they're sitting there drinking wine. This is asur lekuliam. Everybody gets this asur. Or just to sit and drink wine and to listen to an instrument is asur. You have I don't know, Avram Talmas come to your backyard. Some people like him, right? And he's over there playing his
wine,
instruments. Only wine. And you want to sit there and drink wine? It's asur.
So beer and vodka is okay.
Beer and vodka is okay. Whiskey, all these things, all wines are asur. Well, no, that's different. Yain Saruf is more of a cognac. Cognac. Sheikhar is scotch and everything else. Yain Saruf is cognac. Right? So, that's that. Right? אפילו שירה בפה, בא חסן, אפילו בלא יין גם כן אסור דמונים לגמנה דווקא שזונה ובשם הבקרים שהם מזלזם לך ולגזו לגלה די אסור לסחר מהם. So people, what about if people want to listen to music while they're working out or while they're working in order to help them? There's mutar. To listen to music in order to help you work is okay. In order to help you work out is okay. But people, they just want to sit down, according to the Bach and the Shlag, and the way they also, it's usher, they hold that it's even usher just to sit down and to sing with your mouth and just to sit and do nothing. We don't hold like that. You just want to sit and sing, songs to Hashem with your mouth, is okay. Right? So what's the halakha? Is the halakha like the Shulchan Aruch or the halakha is like the Ramah? The truth is the Shulchan Aruch held any instruments asur. It's proper to be machmir, but the Rabbi Tzyon Abishur says the minhag is like the Ramah. The minhag is like the Ramah, which is the Ashkenazi posik, that the only time that it's us to listen to musical instruments, if you're drinking wine at the same time, or you're listening while you're waking up and sleeping. But if you just want to listen to music, or you just want to play instruments in your house, the feed the Ramah would be mutar, according to the Shulchan Aruch, it would be asur. For example, if you have a child and he tells you, I want to play with guitar, I want a guitar. L'chatchila it's better not to buy it. Why is Zechel Hamikdash? No musical instruments. Why? It's too much of a simcha. It's too much of an uplifting for stam. Just the kef of it. As the destruction of the Beit Hamikdash, it's a sur after the destruction of the Beit Hamikdash. Right? ואסור לשומעה מפני החורבן. It's us to listen to it. ואפילו שירה בפה על היין אסורן. Right? שנאמר בשיר לא ישתו יין. But just to sit down and also, and sing music with your mouth and drink wine is also asur. If a person just wants to sit down for no reason and drink wine and listen to music, bepeh is also going to be a problem.
Purim, Rabbi, Purim. We drink wine and listen to the music. That's simcha.
Okay, that's simcha. You're in the Suda, it's a
We drink a lot
simcha,
of
it's a
wine
part of it.
and music.
Purim,
live
Purim
music.
is made for it, right?
Live.
Purim is made for it,
Yeah.
right? But just to sit down, if a person just wants to go sit in his backyard and he wants to drink wine and he wants to start singing all this Bukharish and Nigunim, you're not allowed. That you're not allowed.
Maybe it's 3 weeks. Talking about maybe for the 3 weeks.
The whole year.
That's what I
Not
said.
allowed.
Are you sure it's all year?
Yes,
And when you work out, it's okay.
that's okay to put music because it's helping. Recorded music just like this is okay. What? You can listen. We said that today we're making to listen to recorded music. Recorded music throughout the whole year, we are lenient to listen to recorded music. A person wants to be machmer, could be machmer. I think Rabelski was machmer. But you wanna listen to recorded music, I can't tell you that's us there. The Armani machmir, but Mikar then it's okay. Right? Because like you said, life would be very hard without it. It's very depressing, we'd call it. There everybody would agree that it's okay. So therefore recorded music is different. But live music is a problem. Instruments are a problem. Even instruments you want to play, you could be lenient, but to have instruments or to sing with your mouth and to just drink wine at the same time, that everybody gives it asur.
Except if it's for a
Except
wedding.
if it's for a wedding, if it's a wedding of a simcha wedding. If it's a wedding that's an avera wedding, maybe there's no heter. Yesh mechita, yesh mesiba. You see, it's hashgacha pratis, because there's no mechita, there's no mesiba. Maybe it might be us there, right? The poskim say any wedding that's mixed is not considered sudat mitzvah. Well,
After the destruction, that you can listen to music.
what?
After the destruction of the Hamikdash, that's when it happened.
Yeah, only after the destruction of the Hamikdash.
This instrument also, Baraban,
It's the same thing.
okay, Rabbi did it every morning. He does it. So
Yeah, because they follow like the Ashkenazi poskim. That they don't drink wine while they're doing it. They don't drink wine while they're doing it.
They drink wine after the siyum.
Rabbi did it.
Yeah, siyum is okay.
You basically have a breather.
Siyum is okay.
33.
זיכרון חסדי השם יתברך על היין, כאן לגור כל ישראל עמד לבלי תשחות ראשון הודעות, זיכרון צריך לשם על היין, לכן לצורך מצווה. Any לצורך מצווה is mutar, right? Also, if you want to sing songs which are praises to Hashem, say you want to sing holy songs to Hashem, you want to praise Hashem, then you want to sing praises to Hashem, drink a little wine, it's okay. But if you want to sing praises to Hashem, and you want to listen to music which is instrumental, and you want to drink wine, that you're not allowed. Even if you want to sing holy songs, but if it comes with instruments with wine together, that everybody agrees you're not allowed. That's a problem. That you're not allowed, right? No, but a tzorach mitzvah or bet chatan mekala, all these different types of things, you are allowed to drink. You're allowed to do any of these things. Now, okay, that's that. Just don't really do so much. It's also for a person to fill his mouth with too much laughter in this world. After the Beit Hamikdash was destroyed, why? It says, when a person is too much involved in this world, he's too happily, overly joy in this world, it causes the person to forget the mitzvot. Right? He says even when you're in a wedding or even a Purim, you can be happy, you can enjoy yourself, but you always have to know that the Beit Hamikdash is destroyed. It always has to be something in the forefront of a person's memory, right? Don't lose sight of the destruction of the Beit Hamikdash. Just to point to these halachot, that a person throughout the year he has to live in a way that he remembers that the Beit Hamikdash is lacking, and everything that he does he has to remember that the Beit Hamikdash is not here. That's the point of these halachot.
You still be happy.
You must be happy. It's asur not to be happy.
But just don't forget that.
Gilu b'ra'adah, the Gemara says, you have to be happy, but at the same time with yirat shamayim. It can be happy like what people call that, like people that are very, how you say litzanim? How you say litzanim? No, yeah, but clowns is
Lightheaded.
Lightheaded, right? Lightheaded, right? No, not like this. That's not happiness. That's not happiness.